Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the Premier League prediction show for Game 27 of the 2018-19 season. I am Fletch, of course. I'm bringing you my predictions, my analysis of all the games that are taking place this weekend. Now, there's only going to be 8 games, and that's due to a Carabao Cup final that's also taking place this weekend, but we do have 8 huge games, and at some part or another they all have big implications at both ends of the table. So without further ado, let's kick off this Premier League prediction show, and of course there's only one place to start. Yes, that's right, we're gonna begin with the biggest game in club football. It returns this weekend, and it should be another exciting chapter when Manchester United host Liverpool, and there's top 4 and major title implications that are involved in this game. United go into this game with the fate of a top 4 spot in their hands. Chelsea are competing in the Carabao Cup final this weekend, and Arsenal are facing a tough test in Southampton, so this is their opportunity to start to make top 4 their own. But of course, their opponents, Liverpool, are looking to move 3 points clear of Manchester City by winning this game in hand they have over Pep Guardiola's side. Will United boost their top 4 hopes and dent Liverpool's title charge in the process, or will Liverpool move back to the top of the table and 3 points clear of United's quote-unquote noisy neighbours? United will be without Jesse Lingard and Anthony Martial for this huge game, and so their chances are that Alexis Sanchez may start on the left, and either Juan Mata starts on the right, or maybe Romelu Lukaku will return to the starting lineup and push Marcus Rashford out wide. But as for Liverpool, they're coming off the back of their midweek Champions League goalless draw with Bayern Munich. The upside for them is that Virgil van Dijk will certainly be fit and ready and well rested following his suspension that ruled him out of that game. Other than that, no real fresh injury concerns, barring ones that we already know, example Lovren. And my prediction for this game is I don't think it will be as one-sided as the last time these two teams met, but I do think the result will be the same. Liverpool to win, but this time it will be 2-1 is what I'm predicting, with Sadio Mane to keep up his good goal-scoring form as of late, alongside Roberto Firmino, whilst Marcus Rashford to reply for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side. For our next game, we're going to go to Saturday's lunchtime kickoff, and it's a game that sees Burnley host Tottenham. Burnley moved 3 points clear of the relegation zone last time out when they beat Brighton 3-1 at the Amex Stadium, and this week a single point will see the Clarets leapfrog the Seagulls, as Chris Hughton's side are not in action this weekend. Whilst their opponents Tottenham are on a 4-game winning streak in the league, and are also coming into this game off the back of an incredible Champions League win last week against Borussia Dortmund, where they were 3-0 winners. Will Burnley boost their chances of Premier League survival, or will the league's silent challengers continue to pressure both Liverpool and Manchester City? A win here could see Burnley move up to 13th, while Spurs would close the gap on Manchester City to 2 points should they win. A lot is on the line in this game, and maybe not now, but further down the line, the Champions League's return could take its toll on the Tottenham squad, and it will be a true test of how good this Spurs side really are, and how strong they are as well. Regardless, I'm expecting Tottenham to win here, but it won't be easy against a tough Burnley side. I'm going to go with 2-1 Tottenham as a prediction, and Heung-min Son to get both of the Tottenham goals. From one London team to another, we're going to come to Arsenal, a huge game in prospect for both the Gunners and Unai Emery, as they take on Southampton, a side that have proven to be a bit of a bogey team for Arsenal in recent seasons. As already stated, Manchester United face a tough test in Liverpool this weekend, whilst Chelsea are competing in the Carabao Cup, so Arsenal have a good opportunity here to move back into the top 4 places. As for Southampton, they suffered defeat to Cardiff right at the death last time out, and as a result have fell back into the relegation zone. which proves just how tight the margin is down there at the foot of the table because of how well Southampton have been doing since Ralph Hasenhüttl took over as manager. Will Arsenal continue their pursuit of a top 4 spot, or will Southampton boost their survival bid with a win here? At the time of recording this, it's before Arsenal's Europa League game with Bate Borisov, so I have no idea if they have qualified through to the next round or not. If they haven't, then they are forced to put their entire season on finishing 4th, and it could play into their hands with their rivals all competing on other fronts. But they need to start building some consistency again and begin beating teams like Southampton. The Saints are obviously in a relegation battle and their objective is pretty clear. So with that in mind, I'm going to predict a 2-2 draw here. I still think Arsenal attack will worry the Saints, but the Saints can exploit the defensive vulnerabilities of the Gunners. For our next game, we're going to feature 2 teams who kick off this exciting weekend of Premier League football on a Friday night in Cardiff and Watford. Cardiff scored a late winner against Southampton last time out to climb above the Saints and out of the relegation zone, whilst Watford enjoyed success in both the League and the FA Cup in the past couple of weeks, beating both Everton and QPR by 1-0 on both occasions. Will Cardiff make it 3 wins on the bounce in the Premier League, or will Watford keep up their good run of form? Watford are still looking to make 7th place their own and will be doing all they can to keep up the pressure on Wolves, whilst Cardiff will be looking to aid their survival chances. I'm going to predict, however, that Watford will win. Cardiff have proven me wrong with how well they've been doing already during this campaign, and I'm happy that they have been proving me wrong constantly throughout. And I can probably see them snatching a draw here at best. But if Watford are on form and they're firing on all cylinders, they will have too much energy and quality for Cardiff to handle, which I think will be the difference maker in this game. I'm predicting a 2-1 Watford win, Troy Deeney and Gerard Deulofeu to get on the score sheet for the Hornets. Next game on this list features Magpies taking on the Terriers. Yes, it's Newcastle against Huddersfield. Newcastle suffered late heartbreak when Wolves rescued themselves a late point against them last time out, whilst Huddersfield lost 2-1 to Arsenal. Both sides here are battling relegation, and whilst one team's survival attempt seems more likely than the other, which team will get the important 3 points here? I will say this again and again and again and again, but Rafa Benitez is doing an incredible job at Newcastle. Overcoming the odds time and time again and ignoring all distractions off the pitch, I don't think Newcastle are in serious danger of going down, but the same can't be said about Huddersfield. Mathematically, yes, it is still possible to survive, but the likeliness of it happening is very, very small and dwindling with each passing week. And I think if the players were being honest, they've probably already accepted their fate. And now it's about playing for pride. It's about putting on a show for their amazing supporters. And credit to them if they continue to do so until the end of the season. Newcastle to win here 2-1 is what I'm predicting. Rondon and Perez to get on the score sheet for the Magpies. Our next game sees a rare occasion as the Premier League weekend kicks off with not 1 but 2 matches on a Friday night. We've already talked about the first one, which is Cardiff versus Watford, but the second one features West Ham hosting relegation battling Fulham. Last time out, West Ham drew 1-1 with Crystal Palace, whilst Fulham were thumped 3-0 by Manchester United. Will the Hammers pick up a win here and leapfrog Everton into 9th, or will Fulham upset Manuel Pellegrini's side and give a small boost to their slim Great Escape? West Ham's season is now based on how many points they can get and give themselves a decent target or platform to build on for next season. They're safe from relegation, but are unlikely to go much higher than where they are right now, and their inconsistency shows that. As for Fulham, with each passing week their survival bid looks more and more bleak. We talked about Huddersfield and how they seem to have pretty much accepted their fate and are playing for pride as well as mentally preparing themselves for life back in the Championship for next season. And maybe in a few weeks' time we'll be sat here saying the same thing about Fulham, and maybe they'll have to do that as well. Things could have been so different for Fulham if they didn't just constantly shoot themselves in the foot so many times during a single game. And that is why I'm going to predict that West Ham will heap more woes and more disappointment on Claudio Ranieri's side with a 3-1 win. The penultimate game on this list sees Crystal Palace travel to Leicester in Saturday's evening game as Claude Puel continues to face the pressure of management, especially with his side who are currently without a win in their last 6 games in all competitions, with their last result being a 3-1 loss to Tottenham. As for Palace, they're 5 games unbeaten, and that includes their last Premier League game where they drew 1-1 with West Ham and followed it up with a 2-0 win over Doncaster in the FA Cup. Will Leicester finally get back to winning ways, or will Palace stretch their unbeaten run further? It's a big game this for Leicester. It's not that they've been playing bad in recent weeks, it's just that defensively they can be weak at key times that opposition take advantage of, or they just can't put their chances away at the other end. And against Tottenham, it was a case of both. As for Palace, decent run they're putting together right now. They're playing well, but again, like Leicester, they are no stranger to defensive errors and missing glorious chances in front of goal. That is why I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw for this game, even though I could see this game going any way possible. And finally, 11th meets 7th as Bournemouth host Wolves. Bournemouth were thumped 3-0 by Liverpool last time out, whilst their opponents Wolves rescued a point from Newcastle very late on in that game, and then went on to progress to the quarter-final of the FA Cup by beating Bristol City by a 0-0. Will Bournemouth get back to winning ways here, or will Wolves keep up their incredible season so far? Bournemouth are another side who seem to be safe from relegation but are unlikely to get much higher than where they are right now, despite their early season form suggesting that they could have possibly been very different. It's clear that they miss David Brooks, and the reoccurring injuries to Callum Wilson haven't helped the side either. But on their day, they have the potential and the quality to turn up and beat anyone. Will they do it here? Hard to tell, because like Bournemouth, Wolves had that same kind of feeling about them. They have been great in large parts this season, but in some parts have also been poor and frustrating. But in recent weeks, they seem to have put together a bit of consistency, a bit of form. And that is why I'm going to predict that Wolves are just about to edge this game by 2-1. And that rounds up this Premier League prediction show for Game 27 of the 2018-19 Premier League season. Guys, if you have any thoughts, comments, opinions, or predictions yourself on any of the games that are happening this weekend, let me know in the comments section what you think, whether it's goal scorers, certain events, who will win, that kind of thing. I would love to read them down below. Otherwise, guys, hit that like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. That will all be greatly appreciated. Thank you for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Premier League prediction show, and I will see you all again soon in another video.